Hello everybody, welcome to physics class. My name is Ravi Kumar. The topic we are going to discuss today is force between the two current carrying conductors parallel to each other. So here we have two conductors A and B. They are carrying currents I1 and I2. They are separated by a distance R. So what happens is when current is passing through any wire, there will be magnetic field around it. So in that magnetic field, if you place any other conductor which is carrying a current, then it will experience a force. So here we are finding the force between the two conductors. Now first of all, take this conductor A. So due to the conductor A, as the current is passing I1, we will be finding the magnetic field at a distance R. So it is given by B1 is equal to, so we will be using the Ampere circuit law or Bart-Savart's law for a straight conductor. So B1 is equal to mu naught current carrying is I1 by 2 pi R. So that is the magnitude of the magnetic field. Then we can find the direction. So I can use the right hand thumb rule. So thumb indicates the current. So the four fingers will be pointing into the plane. Or the palm, if you take, the palm is into the plane. Therefore, B1 is into the plane. So here we can indicate the direction. Now, the second conductor B is carrying a current I2. Now, this conductor is in the magnetic field B1. So, it will experience a force. So, F is equal to I into L cross B. So, BIL sin theta. So, you can use that formula. So, force acting on B, FB can take. So, B1, because the magnetic field here is B1. Current it is carrying is I2. Suppose we take a length L of this conductor. So then L. Here theta will be 90 degrees. Because the magnetic field is into the plane and the conductor is in the plane. So the angle will be 90 degrees. So we have B1 I2L sin 90. So that will be B1 is equal. So mu naught I1 by 2 pi R I2 into L. So that is the force acting on the conductor B. Similarly, due to the conductor B carrying a current I2, there will be a magnetic field at this point. B2 you can take. So B2 will be mu naught. Here the current is I2. So I2 by 2 pi R. So that is the magnetic field at this position due to the current in the second conductor. So the direction you can find out from the right hand thumb rule. So here again applying the right hand thumb rule. Here it will be coming out. So dot. Now the conductor A is in this magnetic field. So the force acting on the conductor A will be Fa is equal to. Here also the magnetic field and the conductor are perpendicular to each other. So you can use this formula B2 I1 into L sin 90. So that means mu naught I2 by 2 pi R I1 into L. So that is the force acting on B. So due to the current I1, there is a force acting on B. Similarly, due to this current I2, there is a force acting on it. So there is a mutual force between them. So here, the force between the two conductors, FA is equal to FP, and that's equal because both of them are equal. So the force between the two conductors is given by mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r into L. So that is the force it is, F. So the force between them, the mutual force of attraction. That means here, if A is applying some force on B, then from Newton's third law, B is also applying equal and opposite force on A. So that's why you can say FA is equal to FB is equal to F. That is the mutual force between the two conductors. So mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r into L. Or the force per unit length will be given by F by L. So mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r. So that is the force per unit length between the two conductors. We use this expression to define the unit of current, that is ampere. Suppose we take I1 is equal to I2 is equal to 1, R is equal to 1 meter. Then we get F by L is equal to mu naught by 2 pi. Now as the mu naught value is 4.10 power minus 7, so we can write 2 into 10 to the power of minus 7 Newton per meter. So we can define the ampere using this expression. So when two unit currents are flowing in a two straight wires separated by a distance of 1 meter in A, and if the force per unit length between them is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 7 Newton per meter, then the current in each conductor is equal to 1 ampere. So that is the definition of ampere. Or you can also say that ampere is that current which, when flowing through two straight and parallel conductors separated by a distance of 1 meter in A, causes a force between them equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 7 Newton per meter. So that is the definition of ampere. Now, here we are given the magnitude of the force. Now, the nature of the force can be found, whether it is attractive or repulsive. So for that, here we are taken, the currents are in same direction. So if you indicate I1 and I2. So dot, suppose we are seeing from here, the currents are coming out, I1, I2. They are going up, so they are coming out of the plane. So what happens? Using the right hand thumb rule, the direction of the magnetic field will be given by the 4 fingers. So that is anti-clockwise. So here, the magnetic field will be anti-clockwise. So what happens in this region between the two wires? The lines are in the opposite direction. So the force will be attractive. So the force is attractive. So whenever the currents are in same direction, the force will be attractive. Suppose the currents are in opposite direction, means you can indicate like this. So currents are in opposite direction. Then here this is anti-clockwise. The magnetic field is anti-clockwise. And for this clockwise. So like this you can indicate. Therefore, So magnetic fields are anti-clockwise and clockwise. So somewhere in between, you can see that the magnetic field lines are in the same direction. So same direction means the force will be repulsive. So in that way, we can know the nature of the force between the two conductors. So mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r into L. That is the force between the two conductors. And the force per unit length. Generally, for long wires, we will be calculating the force per unit length. So that is given by mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r. So we use this to define ampere. And then we are able to find the nature of force depending on the direction of the currents. Now we discuss the applications. So first of all, we find the neutral point between the two conductors, position of the neutral point. First we take currents are in same direction. Now, when the currents are in same direction, suppose you take any point P between them. So due to the first wire, the magnetic field will be into the plane. So right hand thumb rule can be applied. So due to the first wire, the magnetic field B1 is into the plane. And at the same point, due to second wire, the magnetic field will be coming out. So that means they are in opposite direction. So the net magnetic field can be zero if the B1 and B2 are equal in magnitude. So that is the neutral point. So here, when the currents are in same direction, neutral point will be in between. So B1, suppose here from the first conductor, the neutral point is at a distance of x. So the second conductor will be at a distance of r minus x. So B1 is equal to mu naught I1 by 2 pi x, and B2 mu naught I2 by 2 pi r minus x. So B1 is into the plane and B2 is coming out of the plane. So because they are opposite, net magnetic field will be B1 minus B2. So if that is to be equal to 0, because we have to find the position of the neutral point. So that is 0. So the magnitude should be equal. B1 is equal to B2. So equating, you can write I1 by x is equal to I2 by r minus x. Or if you simplify this, you can write x is equal to r by I2 by I1 plus 1. So that is the position of the neutral point. So x is equal to r by I2 by I1 plus 1. So when you use this formula, here always you can remember that the point P is measured from the first conductor carrying a current I1. Here I1 is less than I2. From lesser current. We are measuring the neutral point with respect to lesser current. So R by I2 by I1 plus 1. Suppose the currents in opposite direction. So here we take the currents are in opposite direction. Suppose here we take I2 is downwards. Now, in between if you see, due to both the currents, the magnetic field will be in the same direction. So due to this one into the plane, and due to this one also it is into the plane. They cannot cancel. Therefore, the neutral point will be located outside. So somewhere here, you see, suppose you take a point Q. A point Q take. So due to the first conductor, the magnetic field on this side will be coming out. So B1 will be coming out. Now due to second conductor, B2 will be into the field. So outside they are in opposite direction. So they can cancel if their magnitudes are equal. Now B1 is equal to mu naught I1 by 2 pi x, and B2 mu naught I2 by 2 pi into this distance will be r plus x we should take. So this is x we take. So r plus x or y you take. So y here mu naught I1 by 2 pi y and mu naught I2 by 2 pi into r plus y. Because they are opposite in direction, they can cancel if the magnitudes are equal. So we get I1 by y is equal to I2 by r plus y. So from this, y is equal to r by I2 by I1 minus 1. So that is the expression for the neutral point, the distance of the neutral point. So in that way, you can take in general x is equal to r by I2 by I1 plus or minus 1. So that is the general formula you can take. So if the currents are in same direction, neutral point will be in between, then you take plus sign. And when the currents are opposite in direction, neutral point will be outside, then you take minus sign. So that will give the general form. So r by I2 by I1 plus or minus 1. Here I2 greater than I1. And the neutral point is measured with respect to lesser current. So from I1 we are measuring the conductor carrying I1. So I2 greater than I1, and we are measuring from the conductor which is carrying a current I1. So that is about the neutral point. So next we consider force between a current carrying conductor and a loop. A rectangular loop is given here. So we can find the force between them. So I1 is the current in the conductor, I2 is the current in the loop. Here L is the length and B is the breadth of the loop. The near end is at a distance of A, and it carries the current I2. Now, first we consider force between these two wires. So AB is the conductor and I2 is the current to it. So force between these two will be F1 is equal to mu naught, currents are I1, I2 by 2 pi. Distance between the two wires is A. So 2 pi into A, and the length of the conductor is L. Now, here the currents are in same direction, therefore attractive force is attractive. Next, take F2, force between the wire and the wire CD. Now, F2 is equal to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi. Now the distance between the two wires will be A plus B. So here 2 pi into A plus B, and the length is L. Now here the currents are in opposite direction, so repulsive. So F1 is, this force is attractive and this force is repulsive. Now suppose you consider the forces acting on these wires, horizontal wires. These two wires, because of symmetry, magnitude of the force will be same, but directions will be opposite. Suppose you take this wire, apply the Fleming's left hand rule. The magnetic field is into the plane. Current is passing in this direction. So, like this I will. Thumb is pointing downwards. The force acting on the wire AB will be downwards. And the force acting on the wire BC, means again you can indicate like this. It will be upwards. So, here F4 will be upwards. So, the forces are equal. F3, F4 are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. So, they will cancel each other. So, you have to consider only these two, force between these two and also these two. So, net force will be F1 minus F. Here the wire AB is closer to the wire than this one. That's why attractive force will be greater than repulsive force. Therefore, F is equal to, here I can take common mu naught I1 I2 L by 2 pi. So 1 by A minus 1 by A plus. So that is the resultant force, and that will be attractive. So next we find force on a horizontal conductor. So there is a wire carrying a current I1. So we have a horizontal conductor carrying a current I2. So what is the force acting on this wire? So that we have to find. Now due to this wire, the magnetic field is into the plane. Now we have to find the force acting on this wire. So as we move away, the strength of the magnetic field keeps on changing. So what we do is, we take a small element. So let it be dx. So it is at a distance of x. From the conductor. So at this position of the element, we can find the strength of the magnetic field. Or I can find the force between them. Element carrying a current I2 and also the length of the conductor. So F is dF can take. Mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi x into length of the conductor is dx. So that is the force between the conductor and the element. Now we have to find the total force acting on this conductor. So we have to integrate between the limits. So total force will be, you can take constants outside, mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi integration of dx by x. Now take the limits. Here it is changing. The x will be changing from A to A plus L. Here L is the length of the conductor. So A to A plus L. So F is equal to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi. This will be log x from A to A plus L. So simplifying it, we are getting the mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi log A plus L by A. So that is the magnitude of the force between the conductor that carrying a current I2 and this conductor. You can also find the direction using Fleming's left-hand rule. The magnetic field is into the plane, current is in this direction, so the force will be opposite. So there is a force in the upward direction. Now suppose we have three conductors A, B and C carrying currents I1, I2 and I. So A is the separation between these two, B is the separation between them. So what is the net force acting on the conductor B? Now force between A and B, you can take FAB, mu naught I1 I by 2 pi A into L. Suppose L is the length of the conductor, so into L. Here currents are in same direction, therefore attractive. That means F of AB will be in this direction. Similarly, between these two big markers, so F of BC, mu naught I1 I, I2 I by 2 pi into B into L. Here also currents are in same direction, so again attractive. That means F of BC will be in the opposite direction. So net force will be F of AB minus F of BC. So mu naught I by 2 pi. So I1 by A minus I2 by. So that is the resultant force. So it's in case the conductor is to be in equilibrium, net force is 0. Then you can take I1 by A is equal to I2 by B. So F will be 0. In case the current is opposite, this current is opposite, then this will be repulsive force. So repulsive force will be in this direction. Then we will be added. So here for I2 is opposite. Then we get F is equal to FAB plus FBC. So mu naught I L by 2 pi I1 by A plus I2 by. So that is when I2 is in the opposite direction, this will be repulsive force. So FBC will be in the same direction as FAB. Then we will be added them. So that's how we can find the force acting on the conductor. Then suppose we are given like this. There is a wire carrying a current I1. Above this, a wire AB should be in equilibrium. So in which direction a current has to be passed through it? We are given, suppose L is the length of this wire, M is the mass. In which direction we can pass the current, so that the wire can be in equilibrium. Now the weight of the body will be acting downwards, mg. So if the wire is to be in equilibrium, then there should be some force between them in the opposite direction. That means there should be some repulsive force. So for the repulsive force, the current should be in the opposite direction. So force between them is given by mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi R. Suppose R is the separation into L. So that is the force of repulsion between them, and this force of repulsion will balance the weight mg. So then the wire AB is in equilibrium. So next, force between two charges moving parallel to each other with velocities v1 and v2. Here r is the separation between them. Now, whenever a charge is moving, P is a point where we want to find the magnetic field. So we use the Biot-Savart law. Here r is the position vector. So using the Biot-Savart law, I can write B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi Q1 V1 cross R by R cube. So using the Biot-Savart law, we are finding the strength of the magnetic field. So mu naught by 4 pi Q1 into V cross R by R cube. Then a charge Q2 is moving in that magnetic field. So the force experienced will be Q2. Here second charge is Q2. So V2 is the velocity. So V2 cross V. So that is the force experienced by the second charge, which is moving with a velocity V2 in this magnetic field. So you can write F is equal to Q2 V2 cross V. So V2 cross, here this one, mu naught by 4 pi Q1 into V1 cross R by R. So F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi Q1 Q2 by R cube into V2 cross V1 cross R. So that is the force. In case where they are moving parallel to each other, angle theta becomes 90 degrees. So the magnitude of the force, if you expand this, will be given by F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi Q1 Q2 V1 V2 by R. So that is the magnitude of the force. So this is the magnetic force between the two charges. So I can write Fn is equal to mu naught by 4 pi Q1 Q2. Suppose V1 and V2 are equal, V square by R square. That is the magnetic force. If you find the electric force between them, that will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So if you take the ratio between them, Fm by Fp. So dividing one by that, we are getting mu naught epsilon. Q1 Q2 by R square gets cancelled. V square. Now mu naught epsilon naught will be 1 by c square. C is the velocity of light. So that is equal to 1 v square by c square. So you can find that the magnetic force is less than electric force. V square by c square.